please welcome Nicci Roscoe and Michael Dodd. You have just given the best keynote of your life.
And the 1,000 plus people in the audience laughed in all the right places.
They were bedazzled by your blinding insights.
And they were entranced by your stories.
And of course, they gave you a smashing, barnstorming standing ovation.
But then it happened.
As you left the room, the cameras zoomed in.
And you gave the worst media interview of your life.
So here's what we're going to do.
I'm going to step into the shoes of a city lawyer. And what Michael and I are going to do this evening is we're going to do 2 interviews. One bad interview and one good interview. And what I would really appreciate is after the bad interview, the first one, I would really appreciate your feedback. Just a couple of lines of how we can make that better and how I can improve my answers.
So, Ms. Roscoe, on behalf of the BBC, do you admit that it's true that most people reckon the fees of you city lawyers are outrageously expensive?
They aren't outrageously expensive.
Well, what would you say to someone on the basic minimum wage of £6.19 an hour when they hear that people like you can charge £750 an hour, sometimes over £1,000 an hour? And, they must feel awful, wouldn't they?
That's their issue. What I would like to know is, what would you suggest I do to sound great and look much better, to enable me to feel much better too?
Because we're going to test her out in a minute. So what's your advice?
Gravitas.
Gravitas, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, can you do that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, how would you project gravitas with body language? What would you do?
Oh, it's the way I come across to you and how we build that rapport together.
Yeah? Any clues on that? What tips would you have for that?
About building the rapport, with body language, how our body language is similar, and that I'm open, and that, if you move forward to me, I'm going to forward to you. If you move back, I'm going to move back to you. That as we maintain that eye contact, and when you speak to me, again, I'm sympathetic with what you're saying. Your interviewer will pick that up from you, and he will go with you on how you look. So if you're sounding aggravated or your attitude's not great, he'll use that against you as well, or she will use that against you.
And it's really important, obviously, to smile at the right time. You want to change your facial expression as you move from the negative to the positive. And so when you are accused of charging, too much, then I think you need to be serious. You don't want to smile immediately, but when you go on to say something more positive, then you smile when you're on the happy sunlit uplands. Lovely smile.
I know.
We have been practicing
We've
that.
been practicing
That's
our
great.
smile. Smile
Well,
at me.
that's pretty good on...
Smile at me, Michael. I like it.
Yeah. Who's got the better smile, eh? Yeah, okay, one more thing is that I've made a study of this other game called football over here, and what I've noticed is that when there's a free kick near the goalposts, that what happens is that the team defending come and stand just a bit like Nicci did at one moment.
Just like this.
Like this, as if they're about to get hit in some very painful place.
Oh.
At least if they're a bloke.
Well, and a woman.
Really? Hurts for you too?
Absolutely hurts for me too. Right, girls?
Yeah. So this is actually good for you. All right.
So if you all stand with your hands in front, have your shoulders slouched a little bit, and just feel how that feels. And then now for a moment, take a deep breath in, take your shoulders back, and have your hands just by the side of you. And how much better does that make you feel? That makes you feel so much more confident as well. In your preparation and your planning and your practice, if you're giving a media interview or you're in a meeting with a client or in a boardroom situation, it is always good in that preparation to find out about your clients first.
And you can also do that with journalists as well. Find out and think about it beforehand as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So there we are. Thank you ever so much for your advice. I'll still throw some rocks at her, and
Thank you.
we'll see how it
Thank
goes. Nicci Roscoe, on behalf of the BBC, how do you respond to all those people who think that the prices you city lawyers charge are outrageously expensive?
Let me answer that, Michael, because we offer great value for money. If I had to give you an example, we had a client that was being sued for over £3 million, and even though our fees are perhaps £750 to over £1,000 an hour, our clients ended up in a win-win situation. Because even though they may end up paying £11,000, £22,000 or more, they weren't going to get sued. And as I said, we had a win-win situation.
We've trained people like Bill Gates.
And people like Jonathan Sumption.
People like Kylie Minogue.
And people like Michelle Obama.
Not those people exactly, but people like them. People like you.
You can see their faces,
You can, can't you?
really thought
Yeah.
so.
People like you who've got loads of potential, and you can see that on their faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
But perhaps sometimes just need a little helping hand, a little bit of guidance along the way.
So you've got to make sure you give them those killer facts. And also tell them the exact truths. Never lie. Because it always comes back at you. So always tell them the truth.
I was doing a keynote in Kansas City this time last year, and we were talking over the dinner table about this guy who is still held in fairly high regard in America and around the world. But he actually said something which didn't obey what you said. He said something that wasn't true. He said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." And what do the media do? They play it again and again and again.
Well, I'm not going to say anything like that.
You didn't have sex with Mr. Lewinsky either. Well, that's good. That's good.
So,
okay.
Remember to answer the question wherever possible, and go on to ensure that your message comes across. Because instead of giving the worst media interview of your life, you're now going to be able to give the best one. Thank you.
So I've just seen Nicci Roscoe and Michael Dodd give us a fantastic presentation on how to handle the media. What I particularly liked was that they actually used a live action remedy of how to deal with it. We saw the first scene, which was how it should go when it's not so good, and then we saw a fantastic way of turning it around on making it much better. What I liked about the way was they involved the audience in planning how to do the second one, so that the whole audience was engaged and learning in a very important skill for speakers, which is how to handle media. Really enjoyed it.
Well, the thing about Nicci and Michael is that media training, I've never ever seen it be so much fun, so entertaining, but just have all this like amazing content. They just did a brilliant job. Absolutely loved it.